first days after our marriage, 5 days, and then we didn't see each other for 3 years.
Wow.
And we saw each other. We got married in Jaipur, and then we went from Jaipur to Bombay, to catch the boat. And I came to Ireland for my PhD, and she came back. She went back home, Jaipur. And then the first time we saw each other was in Toronto. There in Toronto, there were only maybe 5-6 families at that time. That's in 1955. Now, in Toronto, in Punjabi, they say it's chukote. There were so many. Now they are, I think it must be about close to 100,000
Sure, easily.
Indians in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had 4 children. They were all born in Canada. The first child was a daughter. She was born in Toronto. I did my postdoc in Toronto. And what happened was, we decided we'll have an India association.
In Toronto.
India League. Yeah,
They call it India League.
League.
Oh, okay. कैसे स्पोर्ट्स में करते हैं वैसे?
अच्छा. So it was just like India Association.
Right.
So there were 5 आदमी होते हैं. One became the president, one became the vice president, secretary. I became the
We were the youngest until we became the treasurer.
Right.
No,
Right.
No, the secretary.
Yeah,
became the
became the
secretary, yes.
So anyway, then
This was the first association created in Canada, India
the
League.
first time, the first Diwali in Toronto was celebrated in our house.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we have pictures.
This was in what year?
56.
1956.
Yes.
Wow.
What happened was
Unbelievable.
this lady, a Canadian lady, called me. This was the what you call Foreign Students Association. Called me that they want to celebrate Diwali. Okay, for
Right.
the Foreign Students Association, and can you help us? I felt it was funny. It was my function, my Diwali, and she's Canadian lady is going to have it, and I'm going to help her. Just from nowhere, I said, well, actually we were planning to have a Diwali at our house, why don't you join us? We had no plans, nothing at all. And so she said, well, that would be very nice. So he came home, and I said, well, this is what happened. He said, okay, celebrate Diwali. I'm going to be working that day, it was Saturday.
Right.
And now, there were no restaurants, no nothing. I had never cooked food, मिठाई कभी बनाई नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, मिलती नहीं है. So now I have to make the मिठाई. Now my first party in Canada, my first party anywhere. So I took the milk, milk का खोआ बनाया, खोए की गुलाब जामुन बनाई, फिर क्या कहते हैं बर्फी बनाई, बादाम की बर्फी बनाई, and did all sorts of things. So then he came. There was a doctor here from Madhya Pradesh.
ये भी टोरंटो में ही.
टोरंटो में.
अच्छा.
So ये मध्य प्रदेश से वो डॉक्टर थे. So he came here and I was cooking and he was doing the dishes of the cooking.
Wow.
And he was in the university. So he came back. Then he arranged the prayer thing. I'm Arya Samaji.
Right.
So there puja was not done in our house, but Sandhya was done. So I knew Sandhya very, very well. So he would put them there. I had brought, I came here for 6 months only, because he was there for 1 year. 6 months had passed, so 6 more months. The map of India on the wall,
इसमें?
हाँ, इसमें है या दूसरे में?
So उसमें ना?
नहीं, दूसरे में है. इसमें नहीं.
So we did the Sandhya.
ये
and after
नीचे,
Sandhya,
इसी के नीचे.
I put the tikka on everybody's
Yeah,
forehead,
right.
and we had a party and dancing, and there was a magician was visiting us. So that he also ended up there. We did not invite any families. It was mostly the bachelors.
Gogia Pasha.
Gogia Pasha was there. So
Let
Anyway.
me see. Yeah. I'll show you.
anyway, so this was the first India League came
So
from
where
Canada.
you were involved with, right? The
We were
first
the
experience
only
with,
people there.
right?
We were the only people there.
So do you think this was kind of an inspiration to you
Oh,
when you
yeah.
came to Greensboro and you did not find an
After
India
that, we went to
association?
Winnipeg. Winnipeg was the same story.
Oh, okay.
All the functions, Diwali, Sikh functions, Hindu functions, all the functions were from our house.
Oh, good.
We were Holi, Diwali, everything. And I used to cook, and all these young people still, they were just 2 or 3 families. And
Yeah.
the others were bachelors who were the students doing PhD or something.
This is
They will come and help me in cooking and everything. Muslims, Hindus, and everybody. Okay.
Right.
these two.
They were
pages.
just looked forward to Diwali. There was a Canadian, one Canadian family we used to invite. We were very close to them. We had our this Thanksgiving and the Christmas at their house. They had Diwali. He said, I have never seen people laughing so much without any drink. You know? So
Yeah.
they were dancing and
That's
all sorts
us.
of things. Very, very nice.
Right.
Then what interesting happened, some lady from Hyderabad, Razakar Muslim, came
Acha.
there.
Okay.
So I invited her. And she said, what do you do? And I told her, what do we do? And then she called all the Muslim friends. तुम मिसिस चोपड़ा के घर जाते हो, जाके तुम पूजा में बैठते हो, पूजा करते हो, करते हो. So this guy said to her, you go back where you came from. We are going fine without you. We do
Wow.
not need you, you know.
Yeah.
So हमने सबके टीका लगाते मौसम के सब बैठ के गाते बजाते पूजा में बैठे हुए.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but this was the atmosphere.
Right.
We were truly Indian. You know?
Yeah.
The atmosphere was Indian. There was no difference between religion. We were celebrating the Diwali just like that, like all other functions
Right,
too. You
right.
know.
And that's very important. Means any functions, anything that we celebrate that is related to India, we do not hold any religion to
We
the
have
heart.
a picture.
It's,
of
it's,
Vijay Lakshmi
everyone is
there.
welcome, right?
So this was the wedding. No priest. That doesn't mean it. You cannot have Hindu wedding. The funeral. That doesn't mean that. So all the customs are man-made, right?
Right,
So we
right.
did it out. Then we come to Greensboro.
And when did you come to Greensboro, and what was the reason?
I
आप
got a
यहाँ-
job.
Oh, you had okay. Directly to
Same
Greensboro?
reason. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I came from Canada to Greensboro.
Okay.
From
What
Winnipeg.
what was your job at that time?
When I came here,
Right.
associate professor
Okay.
of chemistry.
Okay.
At that time, IAT was a small college.
Okay.
You know, maybe less than 3,000 students.
Well, that is considered small.
Yeah. Well, now it's about 11,000.
Right. Right.
So, you know,
Yeah.
it's about almost 4 times.
So how many like, and it was what year?
I came in 65.
65. So there's still not many Indians in Greensboro, right?
No, they were not very many. They were just 4 or 5.
Okay. What was the scenario at that time in students? Like, were there a lot of students coming for higher education from India?
Yeah,
Because now we see a lot.
no, not very many, no.
Okay.
See, actually, you had diaspora of Indians after the Indian independence. Lots of students came here, and they stayed here.
Right. Right.
They came here for education and they stayed here. They didn't go back.
So when you were here, does your previous experience in Canada inspired you to have some kind of an Indian association?
Yeah, well, you know, we started the India League in Toronto.
Right.
That was 1955.
And you found that missing in Greensboro.
So, you know, we had India Association. We started first with Diwali,
Okay.
and all those functions were done in our house.
Sure.
You know, you can easily accommodate 5 or 10 families here, you know, in this house. So,
Right.
you know, we had a house on Aycock Street. We rented that house. And we used to have Diwali there, and all the Indians would come.
Right.
And then we started in 1971. We started India League, India Association.
India Association.
Yeah.
This was like the first India Association of our area, right?
Yes. And then in '79 we had Hindu Society.
Right. That's where our temple is right now,
Yes.
right? Apna Hindu Mandir, yeah.
At that time there was just we didn't have anything.
Right.
We bought this land in '89. Yeah, so I think it was '89.
So from 71 to 79, this India Association, did you see a lot of growth?
Oh yeah,
What
India was growth.
Did you see the popularity, and the community also thought that yes, we do need something like this, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody might be participating more and more every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
We used to have. Actually, we used to have only 3-4 functions
okay.
to start with.
And obviously
In
Diwali
the
would be
year.
the one, right?
Yes, Diwali was one.
Yeah.
And then we had Hindu Society in '79.
Right.
Then, of course, when Hindu Society came, there was duplication of, Hindu Society had a Diwali and India Association
Oh,
had
okay.
Diwali.
Okay.
So people started losing interest in India.
Right. And you also mentioned like you used to write plays
Yes.
that kids used to perform,
Yes.
and were there like shows that you organized like in school auditoriums,
Yes.
on stage and everywhere?
Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't school auditorium. We actually we had lot of these
The
plays.
Oaks Motel.
In Oaks Motel.
Okay.
And there's some other places also, yeah. And
But that was
Bennett
under-
College, Bennett College also we
Yeah,
have some.
and
Okay.
India, the Hindu Society, like that.
Sure. Yeah. Once that
Yeah.
came in, you would have that space too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Koreans were very nice, very kind to us.
Hmm.
They would at that time the Hindu Society
Right.
had no place of their own, so we could.
So at that time you would have like these Diwali functions. How many people would come at that time? Like right now we
Everybody.
yeah. So it's like what, couple of hundreds? How many?
No.
Okay.
When the first time we had Diwali, there may be 5 families.
Okay.
The room was big enough for
5 families.
Right.
So we used to have prayer and pujas and things like that.
Wow.
The first Diwali,
Yeah.
and mithai and whatever it is. We used to.
There was no.
And
You
there
have
was
to
no.
make mithai. There was no mithai.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Learn how to make mithai to learn. Maybe India कौन मिठाई बनाता है?
There was no, we didn't get somebody to make, just like you can get mithai from.
हाँ, यहाँ पे grocery store से
grocery
लेके आओ
store
ऐसा
से ले
नहीं
आओ.
है. हाँ.
There was no grocery store.
Right.
There was no Indian restaurant either.
Mhm.
No groceries not available in those days. Indian groceries were not available.
Right.
Spices were not available.
Yeah. So this constitution that we just talked about, what inspired you to like structure this whole thing? Because this is what we are surviving on right now. Whatever you envisioned has brought us where we are right now.
Yeah, well,
So
the thing-
what made you think that you should have like this vision?
Have to have in any society you have to have some constitution, and so this is we had this in India, and we had Hindu society also. So I was quite a bit involved
Hmm.
in all of these.
Right.
So,
So I think that was a great thing that you wrote, because I read it when I joined this committee, and it is it needs like a lot of vision to write this thing. So whatever you envisioned at that time, it has led us to where we are right now. It's
Actually, what happened was that I'm a chemist, but my hobby is history.
okay. See,
So
that's what makes sense.
I read the Constitution of India,
Hmm. So you had obviously had that vision, like
I had the
interest in history.
Yeah.
You know where the future goes into,
yeah.
right?
Well, like what you have to have the president and
Right,
what
right.
and how you elect the president.
Hmm.
How do you impeach the president?
Yeah, everything is required, right?
Everything.
It just becomes an organization. It doesn't remain like a two-family thing, right?
Yeah.
So,
No, so this was.
but the great part that I like what you did at that time was you mentioned that you had just 5 families where you were, but you still thought of a structure that can handle like 500 or maybe 1,000 families. So this is what the structure is. We are taking the benefits of that structure that you just thought. So it just matters. Means we as a community we all need all these things. Just to bring everybody together, or just showing our kids where everything will lead to, right? So
The children need strength. Strength comes from group.
sure,
The
exactly.
children do have problems,
Yeah.
and we have to be aware of that. Children are bullied. In general, children are bullied when you have difference of opinion, different religion, different culture, different colors.
Right.
That problem is real, and that comes the strength comes from unity, from the associations, and so this
Have
is
some more.
huh? This is what is importance of associations is,
Right. Right.
and now the thing is, you can call it a vision when you create something, but the harder thing is to maintain it, to make it grow. Like Dhananjay and you all are doing it, spending so much time and energy. That's what is the real thing. The thing association can die. The pioneers go, disappear, But it is maintenance that is very, very difficult.
Right. And that's just to hit a little bit on that part where we were just talking about the I think it was 1979 when you mentioned like the India Association almost like got shut down, and for years it took years to
That's
bring
right.
it back.
You have to
right?
bring it back. That's
So
exactly.
what do you think? What caused it? Is it like people's interest was lost or less?
Well,
No, the Hindu society was created. The things that India Association was doing, Hindu society
because the
was
same
doing.
programs, right?
Yeah, right.
Right,
yes.
right.
And even now, actually, I am saddened by the fact that Hindu Society and India Association both are the same members.
Right.
I will like to see Muslims in India Association, more Muslims. I like to see more Christians in India Association.
Right,
But it's like
that's
the
just
two associations. What is the difference?
you
One is
you are
religious
you are
and the
so
other is
true
not.
on that. It is not a Hindu association or a Muslim association. It's an India association.
But in the beginning, it was so. There were Muslims in that, there
Oh,
were
okay.
Christians in that, there were all sorts of people there.
Right.
Now, it's not, as I told you, in our house, the Muslims will be there, sitting for puja,
Right.
putting tikka and all those things.
Uh-huh.
But that thing is not there anymore.
Right, right.
Then,
After like 12, 13 years, you probably saw like there is a need again for this association.
very much so.
What inspired or what happened during like 2002? You can take the phone.
You all
So
are
what
doing-
I was asking was like in 2002, did you see like a strong need of an association that is outside of the Hindu temple again?
Yes, yes, it was.
It's not me, it's you people. You felt there is a need for that.
That I think that was the time when we had like a lot more Indian community also, and we pretty much like came back to your same vision again,
Yeah.
right? So in 2002,
It's you.
another group of people came and thought like what you did in 70s was perfect, and that is something that we need to do it again.
You
See, we
people-
began to see, I mean, you all began to
And
see.
you know, the thing here is this. Now we have passed the buck on to you.
Oh yeah, we are just holding the baton. That's what it is.
We have passed the buck to you. So
But you see, in Hindu society,
it's
is
your baby now.
a Hindu organization, but India is not a Hindu country.
Right,
India is
right.
multi-religious.
Yeah, we are
multicultural,
we are
and
trying to do
we
the
have
same.
to teach
Yeah.
our children that thing. You know?
Absolutely.
We have to teach them the history of our country, the history, the variety of the culture, assimilation of the
Mhm.
culture there. And we want them to grow up as Indians, not as Hindus or Muslims or
Right.
Christians, but as Indians.
Right.
So this is where the need was felt that we have to give them the sense of history, our history.
Right.
That's what, when I saw last 15th August program, and it was just beautifully done.
Right.
Very, very great, instructions of our culture, the history, in a very interesting way.
Right.
Where
Culture.
so many children participated, So it was
Even over 26th January and
Overwhelming.
yeah, that and 15th August, we definitely try to promote the significance of those days in our history and our culture. It's very
And
important.
that will then create a desire in the children to learn more.
Right.
And you ask somebody to be Subhash Chandra Bose, then you're going to read who was Subhash Chandra Bose, what was his role?
Right.
They would have never heard about that. But when you're actively involved in something, that what makes you want to learn more.
Right. So what do you think? How we are doing?
You're
The
doing
association.
great.
No,
You're doing great.
what we can do to be better? What?
Well,
Well, continue what you are doing, that will be better.
Yeah. No,
Continue.
that's definitely we have your blessings and presence. That's the big deal. We definitely are inspired with everything that you have
Yeah.
you have done.
very, very proud of all of you, the
Yeah.
amount of time you spend,
And what Dhananjay and you
Right.
have been doing.
No, it's
We
the
are
whole
proud of
team
that.
and lot of community support. We have
Yeah.
lot of people supporting us and everything, which has transpired into what we have right now.
But it's a challenge. It's a very
Aye.
difficult thing. You have your families, you have your jobs,
Very good job.
you have and you to find time for these things. It's needs total dedication, and you really are impressed by all that you are doing.
We are
It's-
proud of you people.
yeah, we are trying, and
We are very proud.
the only difference that we are trying to make is just reaching out to the minds of all these kids. That I think that was your goal too, and I think we were kids when you started this.
Yes.
And these are the direct results when you vision, like when the next generation comes up, they will have this inspiration of inspiring the kids, and that's what it is. But
We are very proud of you people.
thank you for giving us this time. It is.